What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Football Fridays with Five Star. My guy, man, we had to take a little short hiatus, but
Yeah,
we back. We back.
yeah.
So
Glad to have you back in the city, man. You know that.
got to get back to it. Get the
Let's
bag.
get to the bag, man.
We got a game for today. We got some games for tomorrow, and we got some games for Sunday. We're gonna talk about even. So a lot of ways to make some money. And shout out to the comment section first. A lot of guys was in here waiting. Pretentious Prodigy says, are you gonna talk about the Mercury game? No, that was on the other podcast. We talking some football over here. James A says 5 star real one. Listen up, fellas. Scheme Lindsay in the building says he's ready for the knowledge. And Gary Smith said, let's get this money.
Let's do it.
Miss Tasha in the building too. Good to see you. So let's get it. Oceano the Great. Hey, it's good to see everybody rolling in.
Yes, sir.
All right. First game we're gonna talk about here. We're going college football first. Iowa at Rutgers. It opened up -2. I'm still gonna call it two
Yeah,
because you depending on which one you like though, you can get a 1.5, you can get a 2.5, you can get a two. So make sure you line shop. Total open 45.5 up to 46.5. And I just talked about this game five, and I was just like, I've seen Iowa enough to know that they're not a high scoring shootout kind of team.
no.
They're a low scoring, they want to win with defense. But Rutgers, they more like in comparison, I'm gonna just say like a Pacers kind of team. Like they want to win with their offense type.
Yeah,
Not that the Pacers can't play defense, but you get what I'm saying. Rutgers are the more offense scoring, no defense team, and Iowa is the opposite. So I'm wondering which style you think gonna prevail today.
and it's funny because Rutgers head coach is actually a defensive minded guy, but he's having to play towards his personnel. They're having a lot of trouble on the offensive line. They lost both their left tackles, Dante Chin and then Tyler Needham as well. So they've struggled with that. They've given up 7 sacks this season, which isn't good. Defense is for them. They haven't had a lot of. They have been tested, but the great thing for us and the way that we're going to attack this game is that I was really struggling on offense. The one offensive player that they do have, who I really think is a game changer, he happens to be out. That's Xavier Williams. I'm Mark Gronowski. I've watched him since South Dakota State. As you know, Skee, I bet a whole bunch of FCS, especially around the playoffs and stuff. So I'm really familiar with his game. He's a guy that's not accurate, not really a passer, man. He tries to beat you with his athleticism, with his toughness. That works on the level that he came from, not so much on this level. As we've seen, he's only thrown for 306 yards and 3 touchdowns with 1 interception in 3 games, man. He had 44 yards passing against South Dakota. Against who did they play first? It was a lower level team, I forgot. But then he had 83 yards against Iowa State. And then last week they played another lower level team, UMass, who was just bottom of the barrel when it comes to Division I football. He only had 179 yards. They were trying to warm him up and get him ready for Big Ten plays. This is their first. Iowa's dominated this matchup. Like they have dominated it, but in a situation like this one, I like defense for the game and I like offense early because I feel like when you have a good game plan and the type of quarterback that Rutgers has over there in Calico Manus, who came over from Minnesota, he's a tall kid, not going to move too much. Got some straight line speed, but he's mostly a pocket passer. If they can protect enough for him early, which we hope he can do some work because he's thrown for 820 yards, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't know if Ian Strong will be back. That's his best weapon on the outside. They said that he was, a problem for this game. He did miss last game against Norfolk State. Hopefully they were getting him ready for this game. He's a big kid, man, 6'3", about 220, and he's a real playmaker for them on the outside. So they would like to have him. I don't think the whole game they'll be able to block up Iowa, but I think early that I can lean on a much more proficient offense. So I'll go with Iowa first half. I've already played it myself and the group. I'm going Iowa first half plus a half points.
Iowa first half, get in and get out. You trying to avoid that late game
No,
jank.
I'm so sorry. Why did I say Iowa?
Rutgers.
Rutgers. Hey, y'all, scratch that. Rutgers. First half, brother, not Iowa. I'm sorry. Get in and get out. Give Rutgers. My apologies, brother. Yeah, Rutgers. We want to go with the offense early, bro. Always want to go with offense early in the game. Not messing with Iowa early. No. they'll come back late after that great coach Kirk Ferentz makes some halftime adjustments. Then I expect Iowa to probably win the game at the end. But early, you go offense. I think the Californians and the Rutgers team will be up at halftime. So pardon me for that. I didn't mean to confuse you guys in the chat. It's first half plus a half point with Rutgers.
And I got to ask you real quick, just because my look on this game was on the total.
Okay.
And I feel like it got to be correlated, right? If you like Iowa, you like more of an under game. If you like Rutgers, you like more of an over game.
Right.
So that would mean, the first half over would be a little bit more in correlation to what you're looking at, right?
Not necessarily, because I would not be surprised if this game is like 7-3 Rutgers. Rutgers get a touchdown in the first quarter or something. And then after that, kind of stall out.
Okay.
Because I was going to struggle to move the ball early. They have all season long, man. And the thing is, it's because Gronowski can't hit guys. Like you can only run the ball so much. And the type of team that Rutgers is with a bunch of those New Jersey kids, they're tough in the trenches. And their identity has always been defense first. I think it's Piscataway. That I like to say that. That's what they play. It's Piscataway. It's Piscataway, New Jersey, man. So that's what the boys play. So they're tough around there. They have a really good tradition of playing good defensively, and on offense, kind of struggling. This year it's kind of flipped all the way around with them. And I'm not saying their defense is bad, but I think that the defensive mentality that their head coach brings is going to be enough to stop the run. And if you can stop the run against Iowa, you're good, because Gronowski is not going to hurt you anytime they get in third and long. They have to stay ahead of the sticks with Iowa.
If you tell me that, when I talked this game out, and I heard somebody make a case for Iowa full game, and so I was thinking it would be lower scoring. And I'm hearing you say that they can make some adjustments after the half.
Yeah.
And you think that it can go into the half low scoring. So that brings me back to my initial 46.5. So appreciate that.
Yeah, 46.5. You want to play the whole game. The only thing you have to worry about is overtime. You don't want to take the over on this game. I'm not a big totals guy. I only bet overs when I do bet totals. I never bet unders. So if I don't see an overplay, then I don't bet a total. I don't like betting unders. It's too hard to sit up there and hope that they don't score and punt. It's not fun watching the game that man. So I don't do that.
Hey, I'll cheer for some punts.
Yeah, it's a whole society of you guys. So,
yeah. Mark said he was leaning Rutgers plus 2.5, but he likes that breakdown. He's gonna tell the first half.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Nigga J. Cash say we ain't janky.
All right, man. Let's get to the next one.
All right,
we got 3 more college football games to talk about. Next is SMU and TCU.
Yeah.
Opened up 6.5. Not a whole lot of movement on the spread there. Total open 62.5. Same thing. Not a whole lot of movement there. I'm gonna just pass this one off to you because these are not two of the teams that I was following really.
These are 2 old Southwest Conference teams. If the guys in the chat who are in the chat that's 35 and older, they know what I'm talking about. This will be an old run and shoot conference with the University of Houston, Arkansas, Texas, and all those teams. And SMU and TCU were in that league as well. Just a little bit brief history on football in Texas. When they bust up the Southwest Conference and everybody went to make the Big 12, they played SMU and didn't allow them in the conference, them in Houston, and TCU ended up taking their place. So that's how TCU kind of became a bigger brand in football than it used to be, because actually they were like bottom of the map in Houston. SMU was a really, really strong program, and Houston was as well. Well, now SMU is back, and it's because they have a really good coach in Brett Lashley. Last year they won the ACC, which is not an easy thing to do. Really good programs over there with Clemson and with Florida State, but they were able to get it done. It's because of a kid that I've been talking about 2 years on the Wagering World. All of my Wagering World community who are inside watching this as well know we've been on Kevin Jennings for a long time. Kid out of Oak Cliff, went to South Oak Cliff High School, won the championship there, and he's kind of changed everything for that SMU brand. They were able to get into the playoffs last year. Then you got on the other side about a really underrated program in TCU. Their coach, Sonny Dykes, has done a really good job over there when he came from California. A lot of people weren't high on him. He's a second-generation coach. His father actually started the spread offense in Texas high school. So Sonny Dykes is a guy that doesn't get a lot of props, but he's put a pretty good brand of football out there with TCU every year. You remember that they were just in the national championship a couple years ago when they lost to Georgia and they upset Michigan in the semifinals, man. So he's done a good job over there. Well, they both have good quarterbacks. Josh Hoover, who's the quarterback over there for TCU, he kind of reminds me of Bo Nix, really athletic, confident guy. 6'2", 200, can throw the ball. They have a lot of weapons on the outside like they've always had at TCU. Me, I got to go with the over on this game. Last year, it was 66-42. SMU was down a little bit last week in Missouri State. They were losing 10-0 in the first quarter. They ended up coming and tracking it down and winning 28-10. They don't cover for the game. TCU didn't cover as well as they were looking forward to this game. But SMU was kind of like on a slump because they blew that game against Baylor. You were in Cali at the time. Me and my wife were at the Win. We watched every snap, and we had the over on that game. And the way that they blew that game in the fourth quarter, they're sick, and even in overtime, I don't know if anyone in the chat saw it, the ref tripped Kevin Jennings, and they lost like 20 yards, man. So they felt like they were jobbed. I think that they're going to be really, really crunk about this one. I think they're going to anticipate playing TCU and kind of showing people what it is. I like SMU to win this one straight out. Actually, I think they can win it plus 300, but the strongest play for me on this is definitely the over 63. I think that it's no way that these teams from the background that they're in, the type of style of football they play in North Texas, that they're not going to put points up.
Mark agrees with you. He played the over in this game, and Money Meat says Sonny used to coach SMU. He's on TCU first half.
I like that.
All right, good stuff on that one. Moving on over to the next game, that is Arkansas at Memphis. And this one opened up -6.5 for Arkansas. Looks like 7.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Total opened up 62. It's come down a little bit, as low as 60.5. There are a lot of 61s out there. I have a feeling which side you're rolling with. I know who you do it for.
Yeah.
So tell us why Arkansas can keep this one close.
No, Arkansas's favorite.
Oh, they're favorite?
Yeah, they're -7.
Oh,
yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, you good.
These two teams I don't watch either. I watch just a small group of college teams.
Memphis is not on the same level as Arkansas, so unless this is just an overwhelmingly public game on Arkansas, they should smash them. Like, they're much more talented. If you watch the show, I also talked about Taylor Green a lot. He started at Boise State, been in Arkansas now for 2 seasons, and this kid is like a poor man's Vince Young, man, 6'6", runs like a deer. Got a whip, he can throw it. And Arkansas has a lot of talent. They've always had a lot of talent in football. It's a region that recruits well from the Texas and Louisiana and Arkansas area. So they always got athletes over there. And they have a really good OC over there in Petrino. Bobby Petrino has coached a lot of guys, and he's running the same packages that he ran for Lamar Jackson with Taylor Green, because what he runs is like a pro offense. But when he has a guy like he had with Lamar and a guy like Taylor Green, he can add some RPOs, but he also teaches those kids how to play at the next level, check at the line. So he does a good job with that style of quarterback. I bet on Taylor Green. I think I sent it to you as well, plus 15,000 to win the Heisman. It's down to 7,000 now. So if you guys are on one of those books that gives offers, you already getting some money offer back. They offer me something right now, but I'm not taking it. I'm going to ride it out, because if he gets called in New York, you're going to get a huge profit on that one, because it's already less than half because of his performance at Ole Miss. And as I was talking about maybe about 2 shows ago in the Wagering World, is that Taylor Green has all these showcase games coming up, right? He has Notre Dame next week. After that, they have Tennessee. We just saw him play Ole Miss. They should have won the game. They were driving to win the game. He brings them back in the fourth quarter from a 10-point deficit, but his receiver fumbles like inside the 20, man, with maybe less than a minute left. But he showed up. He threw for 308 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He also ran about 14 times for 115 yards, man, with a big long run for a touchdown as well. So this kid is lighting it up. He's one of the best players in the SEC. Now Josh Pate is talking about him as well. He has a huge college football platform. So I think that the arrow's up for Taylor Green, and this is a game for him. Me and Jay Money were talking about. This is one he's supposed to put up numbers. This is a game right here where you doing stats. It's a stat time game. So I don't think Arkansas is going to have any issues with them. Memphis, they have a quarterback over there in Brendan Lewis. He's not as talented as Taylor Green. They're not in the same atmosphere, but he is a serviceable guy. He started he was at Colorado, and then Coach Prime came over there with Shador. He had to transfer. He goes to Nevada up in Reno for a little while. Now he's doing his 5th year over here at Memphis. Memphis has a pretty good coach, Ryan Silverfield, runs his mouth too much. He just was talking crazy about Georgia, and they don't even play Georgia, so I didn't even understand that. He was saying something about his kids. Don't stay out late night getting speeding tickets, just being a dry hater. And when you being a hater, that energy is not good for you on the week when you're playing another SEC team. So I do like Arkansas on this with -4. I like them also for the first half -4, and for the game -7. The -4 is because Arkansas has averaged 31 points per game against some stiffer competition than Memphis has played, already in the first half. And the total has been average of 49 points in the first half. They like to get on you early. They like to score early. So I'll be looking towards Arkansas, and the over is 31.5 in the first half. They might can do that themselves if they can get on them early. Because as I said, Brendan Lewis, as the game goes on, he's not going to be able to go bullet for bullet with Arkansas. The only way that's going to happen if the Arkansas kids bet on the game. That's the only way, if they're letting them score. Besides that, man, he's not going to be able to keep up, because I've seen him play before and he's limited.
All right, good stuff. We're looking at Arkansas in this one.
Yeah,
I like how you breaking that one down. I could roll with that one. Last up in college is West Virginia and Kansas, and Kansas is a 13-point favorite. They opened as 12.5, and total open 55 is down as low as 54. I don't know. I have a feeling you're gonna like the West Virginia side here.
Yeah, and you're right. And it's because we do it for the underdogs. But in this situation is funny because they're not really an underdog in this matchup. If we look at the front of the jersey instead of the back of the jersey, it's 11-2 head-to-head. Now, I know that Lance Leipold took Kansas. He took them out the gutter, man. They were just a doormat for every team in the Big 12. Since him and Jalen Daniels has been there, they've been a lot better team. But let's think about it. Even last year when they knocked Shador and Prime and Travis Hunter out of the playoff picture for winning the Big 12, they still went 5-7. So they're not consistent. They're going to always be undermanned. Lance Leipold has done a good job of getting some good receivers over there to go with Jalen Daniels, so they do put up points, but they lean to the offense. Defense, they're still struggling. They can't stop the run, as we saw 2 weeks ago. They're on a bye week this week. They lost to Missouri. Missouri just ran the ball down their throat. And I think that they're matching up with a team that likes to run the ball, so they're going to be able to stay in the game. You got Rich Rodriguez. This is his second stint at West Virginia. He was there when they were really good with Geno Smith and all of those guys over there. And what's Buddy name who used to play for the Seahawks? Ran back the touchdown at the that's not him. It's another kid. They used to play for West Virginia. Oh man, I'm gonna think of it real quick, man, and then I'll give it back to you guys. But this kid he's really a playmaker, and that was the old West Virginia that Rich Rodriguez used to coach, man. And they had a lot of speed everywhere. They could run the ball on you. They could run a lot of screens and things like that. Now he's left. He's came back again, and he's going to bring that same. Pat White was a great quarterback. Thank you, Jay Cash. What was the receiver that was the star for that team? Because Pat came right before Geno, and then it was a receiver that went to the pros, man. He was good. He played the outside, and he ran the ball as well. Tavon Austin. Thank you, brother. That's what I was thinking about. He just got out the league. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate it, man. You know we do. We kind of partake sometimes, so we can't remember everything, man. But yeah, Tavon Austin was a really, really good player over there, and Rich Rodriguez coached that entire era of West Virginia football. He's trying to bring that back now, man. He left for a while, went to Jacksonville State. Well, he left initially, took a better job with Michigan, and then after he didn't last in Michigan, he had to go back down again to start over at Jacksonville State. But he has a great running back in Ty Edwards over there, ran for 141 yards against Pitt last week, man. So I think that since the weakness of the defense for Kansas is stopping the run, it's going to be hard for them to get off the field. And we know Kansas can score, so I'll probably look to the over on this, maybe 55.5, because they're going to go up and down the field on West Virginia's defense. But my strongest play on this one is taking the points. That's just too many points to give a really feisty team. They got a quarterback at West Virginia, Nico Marshall. His dad played in the pros for the Saints. Nico Marshall was the Arizona Gatorade Player of the Year in high school. Came to West Virginia, couldn't get on the field, red-shirted. They thought that when the coach left, Neal, that was the coach originally left, that he was going to, leave like most of the team did. But he didn't. He stuck it out, and he's looking like a much better player. Rich Rodriguez knows what he's doing. That's too many points, man. Give me plus 13 in West Virginia.
Good stuff. Shout out to my guy Mark. Have a safe flight, bro. And he says he'll catch the replay when he lands.
All right, safe travels, brother.
All right, that's college football. But I do have a question for you. And
Yes.
I didn't tell you about it, but
Okay.
it's your neck of the woods, I think. Sam Houston State. You got any idea about that team? If you don't, it's okay.
Yeah, I do a lot. Who are they playing?
They play Texas.
Their coach is horrible. That's the only problem. Sam Houston has some really good talent. They have back a quarterback, Hunter. I forgot Hunter Brown, I believe. I think it's Hunter Brown. I'm not thinking about the Astros pitcher. Whatever his name is, his first name is Hunter, and he's a decent kid, man. He got a little speed, little mobility, he can throw the ball. But he was the starting quarterback 2 years before now. Mm-hmm. So they should be a lot better offensively than they are. What's the problem is their head coach. If you look at his past and all the places he's been, he's a clown. And it was just a bad hire by Sam Houston State. They have had two really good coaches before him, and that's why they're not there anymore. They went to better jobs and better opportunities. But I can tell you what's there for Sam Houston State's campus. Don't go over there. That's prison town in Texas, man. You do not want to go to Sam Houston. When they ring that bell, somebody just caught their juice. So you don't want to be in that area of the world, Huntsville, Texas, prison town of Texas. Yeah, don't bet them because the coach sucks.
All right, hear me out, and you can tell me if this gonna make sense. Okay. Because you know that team, you know the coach.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've been watching Texas. I'm watching Texas. You know that's my team.
They suck too.
The defense is elite.
Super elite.
The offense ain't there yet.
Because Arch.
They not there.
Yeah, because Arch.
And because of that, they keep having all these low-scoring games, right? So my first thought is the point spread is 39.5. Are they even going to score 40 points? Like, to cover that, you got to score 40 points at least. And that's saying if the other team don't score at all.
Sam Houston is scrappy. They got some kids who probably played a lot of the Texas kids. I stay away from them, but if I was going to bet, I'd probably have to take Sam Houston just because
Texas play Florida next week.
Yeah.
They're looking ahead to that. They already lost to Ohio State.
Yeah.
They're not trying to lose again.
Is Arch playing? Yeah, okay. They act like he's shoulder or something now.
He playing?
They're making excuses for him now, man. But we told you before he won the fade on the Wagering World, man, he's not ready.
Well, I'm gonna put that out there. I'm looking at Sam Houston State. I'm thinking about fading my Longhorns. I'm either gonna take the plus 39.5 or I'm gonna bet the under on the game.
Yeah, Sam Houston's coach is horrible. He'll figure out a way to blow it. He's not a good coach, bro. He's not a good coach at all.
All right. Let's get to a little bit of NFL.
Let's do it.
And man, I mentioned a couple of these earlier, and I'm gonna just get, I'm ready to push the button really on one of them right now. And we'll get to that one first.
Okay.
453, 454 is Atlanta and Carolina.
Okay.
It opened up Falcons -2.5. Everybody saw them beat the Vikings 22-6, and it's up to 5.5 now.
Okay.
So everybody saw that.
All right.
They saw the Panthers getting beat down. It was 27-3, I think, at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And similar to how the Panthers were ass all of last season, and at the end they started to look a little bit better. Like Bryce was starting to figure something out. That's kind of how it looked in the second half offensively.
Right.
And they covered backdoor. I think they can carry that momentum here into their home opener against the Falcons team, who I think you're buying high with their last performance. Like, I don't view them as -5.5 on a road type team versus anybody, really.
Right.
So Panthers plus 5.5 for all those reasons, really appealing to me. Is there any way you can talk me off?
Well, I won't talk you off of it. I'll just give you just some opinions on the game. And then after you talk about the other game, I'll tell you how both of those picks you actually made fit into, this one stat that we can look at that's very important. So you're on the right side, it would seem, with past history. As far as the Panthers and the Falcons, the reason why Carolina comes back a lot in these games is because defenses get tired, and now Bryce can do the little scramble to the right stuff and draw up some safeties and linebackers and throw it to the back of the end zone. He's not seeing the field well from, in the pocket, especially early in the game when defenses are coming out full of energy and have a game plan prepared for him. They're tipping a lot of his balls and stuff. And I was high on him coming out of college. It was him and CJ for me. They were both neck and neck. I couldn't figure out which one. I saw a lot of things that Bryce did that was really impressive. I want to say that it's the organization that he's at, but if you're a special type of player, as we saw Cam Newton was, you can lift even that type of organization up. Or as we see with Josh Allen and Burrow, they're lifting up organizations who don't have strong foundations for winning. So that troubles me. But I always knew he was a Drew Brees type of quarterback that was going to need help around him, good play calling, right? So maybe they haven't had the time to build the line like they should. He is on his third year. He deserves a little bit more time. He won't be out of his rookie contract till next year. But that's why they cover Skee, because at the end of the game, teams kind of, are tired and not caring as much as the game is out of hand. And as you told me a little bit earlier, when we were talking about this game, they don't stop. They keep coming. It's almost like they're betting on the game. Like they know. So if I was going to go either side, I would go with that for full game. I definitely agree with you. I like the under probably on the first half. Carolina's defense has been decent. It's nothing to call home about. But what's been really good is the Falcons' defense. I have to give some props to their head coach, Raheem Morris, because, we were on his backlash, and I figured it out, and he figured it out. Remember, I tweeted, I said, man, I think he read it. I said, if Raheem Morris doesn't get rid of Juan Huku, he's finished, because he blew so many games for them. He's got him out of town now. He got another kicker and just made him stay home. He's figured out he was shaving points, man. That dude was not trying to win games, bro. He was just kicking when it didn't matter. But if it was something that was an important number that fell on the total or that fell on the spread, he didn't give a damn about the Falcons. So Raheem Morris is smart for that. But he also refocused this year on his defense. Last year, they were more an offensive team. He's a defense coordinator. He did a really good job. Won the Super Bowl with the Rams as the DC when they won. So he's gotten that defense tight this year. Atlanta's actually the number one defense in the whole league. A lot of people don't know that. So I lean toward the under on the first half, and maybe Falcons money line first half, because as I said, the Panthers kind of start slow, but definitely I agree with you for the full game that I think that they could backdoor it.
All right. The next one that I was looking at here, or another one that stands out to me, is Saints and Seahawks. And this one opened 6.5 and went on the other side of 7 to 7.5.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you buying real high on the Seahawks right here. And like a touchdown favorite, I definitely don't view them as that kind of a team.
Yeah.
I think their offensive line is not good. I think the Saints can create pressure. And when Sam Darnold is pressured, he sucks.
Right.
It's that simple for me. And the Saints have been playing a little bit better than everybody expected, myself included. They've played 2 close, respectable games. And for the Seahawks, they got a big game coming up on Thursday. So I just don't think it's a good spot for them. I think it's a big number you got to lay with them.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Saints. So I'll ask the same thing. If you don't have a reason to talk me off, that sounds good to me. But if you do, I still would want to hear it.
Well, the Saints is my lifelong team. I was born in it, not sworn in it, So, I roll with the Saints. I almost turned my back on them because I turned in my membership, because when they went and got Derek Carr, I was ticked off. And then in this last draft, when they passed Shedeur Sanders umpteen times and took Tyler Shuff,
whatever his name is.
Yeah, Shuff is rough. Yeah, he's garbage, So that kind of ticked me off about the team. You had the retirement of Tyrann Mathieu. He was tired of that mess. He couldn't take it anymore. So, but they have been a little scrappy. I am looking at Spencer Rattler and he shows a lot of fight. He's a former, 5-star quarterback coming out of Arizona and things like that, and kind of lost his confidence in Oklahoma when Caleb Williams took his job. But he finished strong when he went to South Carolina, and he's had some heart. So maybe they can stay in. And I just think Seattle is a totally more talented team right now than we are. I feel like Jackson and Jigba can do whatever he wants to them. He's going to be able to get up and down the field. It's just now we know Sam Darnold will turn the ball over. So that's something to look for. 2 really good running backs over there for Seattle. So I couldn't argue with you about what you're saying. I just looking for a path to victory. Out of all the games on the list, I thought that this was one of the better money lines, if you bet that style, just because the Saints have a horrible history up in Seattle. If you're a Saints fan, you know that. That's when Marshawn Lynch made the famous run and jumped in his zone, back was holding his jump. So, the Saints have not done well up there in the past. And it's just a young team when you got everybody's young, including the coach. This is his first time having a chance to really run his own ship. So that's something that I worry about. But the main thing I worry about with the Saints is Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley has been one of those. He helped kick the damn extra point. That's a segment I do on the Wagering World where I talk about coaches who make horrible decisions in game.
Yeah.
It's because it started from Mike Tomlin going for 2 unnecessarily all the time. So it became kick the damn extra point. But we talk about all the coaches who are on some BS. And Brandon Staley was number 1. So he's the defensive coordinator for the Saints. So that's the only thing that I'd be afraid of. But to go with both of those teams that you took the Panthers and you took the Saints, NFL teams that are 0-2 and are dogs in week 3 have gone 37-17 against the spread since 2017. So you're on the right side.
I matched they matched the Panthers too then.
Yeah, exactly. These are the teams, the Dolphins, the Jets. The Dolphins already covered.
Yeah.
The Jets, the Texans, the Bears, the Giants, the Saints, the Browns, Panthers, and the Titans.
I like it. I got a couple teams on that list. One of them I was looking to fade though, so I don't like that.
Yeah.
2 of the teams really I was looking to fade, so maybe you have some caution.
The Giants probably will cover against the Chiefs. Is that?
Hold on. Let me give my boy a shout out right here. My boy Razor says shot time.
For sure.
What's up, fellas? What's up, chat? Hey, I wish I was hanging with y'all, man. I know y'all out there in Atlantic City having a blast, man.
AC, man.
I got a lot going on right now. I couldn't make it, but I really wish I was there with y'all.
Boardwalk Empire. Shout out to AC.
He says your boy is feeling good. And he says he took a shot of tequila for Skee. So appreciate you, Razor. I got to get with y'all next time. But y'all boys enjoy and keep cashing, man.
Yes, sir.
It was. I want to take the Giants, so I like that. But the Bears, I wanted to take the Cowboys.
Yeah, I do too. It's a really public game, but I just can't see. I think you could take the Bears first quarter.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the only time I take
scripted plays
every time, and then your boy want to get out there and play flag football. A me guy. So that's the problem with them. That's not
painted fingernails. Yeah, that one, and then I don't know.
Mariota starts now. You know that, right? For Jaden Daniels.
Oh, boy.
So whatever game, whoever watched it playing, I'm looking at the other side. They playing Raiders
right now.
Raiders getting 5.5. I think
it's down to 3.
Raiders money line.
Yeah.
Gino looked embarrassed last week. He gonna try to play good because he got pride. He gonna be like, man, they already back talking about I suck.
Mm-hmm. I could look at that for sure.
Yeah, that's one.
I'm not a Mariota guy.
Yeah.
I've talked a lot of shit about Mariota over all these years.
Yeah.
Especially when he played for the Titans. But the Browns, I was trying to bet the Packers, and I know that's probably the everybody want to bet on pick, but they look.
I've seen the Packers on the road over the years as favorites lose a lot of money for people on spreads, and I don't know why. I remember distinctly last year against Jacksonville, I want to say they went on the road with Jordan Love and stunk it up, and they should have won. So we'll see. Each year is a different chapter, but everybody sure is high on it. Everybody thinks it's going to be Green Bay and Buffalo in the Super Bowl, but I tell people it's only the third week.
Yeah. It's
So
early.
a lot can happen. It always starts that way. But real football doesn't start until the calendar changes, bro. Like it don't really start until it get cold, and it's not cold yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out my boy Nasty Nate too. I know he out there doing it up, having a good time with the guys. So appreciate you tapping in. You enjoy as well, bro. All right. The last one I want to ask about.
Okay.
I can't let you go without asking about it because I'm dying to back my boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting so much shit from all my people. Like, what's up with your boy CJ? CJ this, CJ that.
Damn.
And I'm just like, the GIF with Homer going back in the bushes. And
yeah,
I don't know what to say right now.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with the Texans, bro?
It's not CJ's fault. He's starting to get upset with it, but this is what's wrong with CJ. CJ has PTSD, right? So his first year, he never got injured. Everything was Cadillac. Everything was smooth. No one was hitting him. The pockets were so clean. He had Tank Dell there. They were knuckling up and doing all that, and it was so fun. And then he went and met Amber Rose. And he started hanging with the Fanatics and all that stuff there. And he did too much after his rookie year being a kid from, I think he's from IE, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Inland Empire near, LA. So he started hanging with the Hollywood crowd and he kind of lost himself. And that's why last year I already had told Spread, like, CJ about to fall off a little bit this year because he's doing too much. I'm seeing him too many podcasts with Michael Parsons. He all over in Japan and stuff. So this offseason, he's been really quiet, trying to get back to work and get back to what he does. But you kind of lose during that period your motion because you were just all work coming from Ohio State. And now you played a little bit. Now you had an off year. Now you're questioning yourself and you're getting hit by linemen. What people don't understand, the Texans was the team that had offensive linemen that wore a Miri. Most offensive linemen were, like lumberjacks and like cat boots. Let's get real about it. Like it's a lot of country boys that's gonna block. And them brothers I know from playing football myself, if you get a left tackle pissed off at you like Larry Tunsil, he gonna let you get hit. And I think a lot of that was going on with the Texans because there was a lot of people in that locker room who was kind of like, this dude just got here and he getting all this pub and he think he all that. You know how CJ is, like how he did Caleb Williams.
Ever since that game,
he got to get, when you get arrogant, the foul is coming soon after. So now he's trying to build back and earn his rights back to being who he was and who we know he is. We know he's a hell of a football player. We know he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks we've seen come through the league. I always compliment Warren Moon. He's a really good player. But when you get PTSD as a quarterback, now you're not seeing the field right. You're so thinking about getting hit, man. And a lot of times he's not getting the right play calls. Most of all, that's the problem. But also when he does get the right play calls and people are open, when he's hitting his back foot, he's not letting it go because he's not sure. That still goes back to coaching. He needs to have a coach who can define whether they're in zone or in man. Nick Caley had the least amount of motion in the whole NFL. I talk to people who didn't play football as much like you that play Madden. You understand. If you bring the wiggles and the waddles and the motions, the orbit motions, you can see what's up because either the linebacker or safety who's ever assigned him has to run with that man. Yep. We have no motion at all, literally. So with them having the least amount of motion, that's on Nick Caley. DeMeco Ryans, he has to rethink his approach to offense. Stop being a dude who's afraid to go get somebody who has their own brand, who's been a head coach, and who has a system that has already worked in the NFL. Bobby Sloak, this was his first time calling plays, but Bobby Sloak was much better than Nick Caley. Like, that's why you got to be careful what you wish for. I feel like the offense would have been far more ahead with Bobby Sloak. Bobby Sloak and CJ fell out and had a bad argument in the locker room. This is until a lot of people don't know. I know that in Houston, they got into it really bad. And that's why DeMeco kind of moved off of, because not only was social media not liking how Sloak was calling the plays, him and CJ had a riff going on about the plays he was calling. So now you get Nick Caley in here, another first-time play caller. Why not get Chip Kelly? Why not go get John Gruden? Go find somebody who's already had a system that worked in the NFL and that focuses on coaching your quarterback every day. If you don't have someone who's with your quarterback going over his fundamentals daily, they're going to lose it, man. Just like anything else, it's muscle memory. So he needs to have someone who knows what they're doing with quarterback on that side of the ball. D'Amico might be the best defensive coordinator in the whole league, but you're the head coach now, bro. Like, we know you call plays, you scheme great for the defense. Even with the Tampa Bay game, it wasn't his fault. He was in the right defense on 4th and 10. Tuatu didn't make the tackle. The problem is you have to see the whole picture. D'Amico is going to have to go get a guy who can coach CJ correctly, because if he doesn't, CJ is going to get out of there this summer. Remember, I told you that, because David Mogetta is his agent. David Mogetta is one of those guys who really takes care of his clients, and he has a grudge with every NFL team, and especially the Texans, because he's Deshaun Watson's agent as well.
Yeah.
You know, so they're going to have to pay him, and if they pay him and give him what he needs around him, but if not, watch for the Rams, because I think that Matt Stafford might retire this season with the fact that his boy is retiring from the Dodgers. You know, that's his best friend. So if he leaves, you might have him back in LA with the Rams, because I don't really think CJ's too big on living in Houston either. Like, besides, if it's all going bad, we not winning, I can't, get the plays I want, he want to get back to the West Coast. And they would love him with the Rams. So Houston needs to do a better job, starting with D'Amico Ryans, of making this kid know, hey, man, you're the number one option. We go as you go. This is your team. We haven't lost any belief in you. And our social media people who follow the Texans, man, I'm so tired of a segment of the Houston fan base, and we all know which ones it is. They ran Dusty Baker out of town, and now they're on there talking shit about D'Amico, talking shit about C.J. Stroud. This team was 3-13-1 the year before they got there. The prior year, they were 4-13. The year before that, they were 3-13. How the hell can you say anything to these two when D'Amico had never coached a game before, CJ had never played an NFL game before, and these guys win the division back-to-back, 2 years straight? You need to be happy that we got these guys and try to figure out how can we get better, and you try to get on social media with all of this bullshit. I get so tired of that in Houston, man. And the people on the radio station are just as bad in Houston. They get arrogant after we have a little bit of success. KD is going to get tired of them. Watch. If he has a bad period, it's quickly going to turn, because we have some really racist people in our fan base in Houston, bro. And they say some bullshit all the time. So hopefully, we can get all that worked out on the field where the people in social media can shut the hell up, and they can let these dudes continue to build on a really good foundation they have with having D'Amico as a young guy as your head coach, having CJ as your quarterback, Will Anderson as your rush in. We got a lot of good pieces over there. Hopefully Tank Dell comes back. We got a lot of good pieces, just build on it. But their problem is the offense, bro. Offensive coordinator, D'Amico not paying enough attention over there. Nick Caley not knowing what he's doing, being a first-time play caller. That's the real problem. So I worry about them this week, bro. I'm worried about them. And the reason why is because Liam Cohen knows how to call plays, the head coach for Jacksonville. He's a really good offensive coordinator and offensive mind. He's the reason Baker Mayfield got paid. He's the one that got him back into his confidence. You know how? Smart play calling. Baker Mayfield threw more screens than anyone in the NFL last year. A lot of people don't know that, though. They just look at the bottom number, because the only thing that matters with a quarterback is, can you go get a field goal before halftime? Can you convert on 3rd and long? Can you win the game at the end when we need to tie or we need to get a touchdown? And Baker can do all of those. So all the in-between don't matter, right? That's the thing that we got to look for with this game. Liam Cohen is really sharp, and he's put up 34 points last year in Houston against the Texans as the OC. So I'm not betting that game. I'm just going to root as a fan for Houston, but they got to be careful on this one.
So you like Jacksonville's offense. Houston needs to fix their offense. If they're going to fix their offense, it should be a little easier versus Jaguars defense.
Yeah.
Maybe this is one I look at it from a total perspective. I'm trying to find ways to back Houston. Maybe I just trust Houston to score against Jacksonville. Maybe Jacksonville's going to score against Houston too. Like you said, they ran it up on the last time. They're
still pros. So the problem is we got to hope that Nick Caley's calling better plays than – did you watch the game last week?
Remind me who they played.
When they lost to the Bucs on Monday night.
Yes.
Did you see that the Texans really should have won that game? They had full control there on the goal line at the 2-yard line. Nick Caley calls 4 plays from the shotgun. The first one is
because they couldn't run it in.
But he didn't give him a chance.
Yeah.
What did he call to what packages did he come in tight with 2 tight ends?
Yeah.
You know, what plays did he go play action and say, let's threaten the flats with CJ running or he could pass it? He's not a smart coach, bro. He's dumb. So that's what I'd worry about in my handicap, unless he makes a complete 360, which we've seen. Because look at the Dolphins defense last night. They looked a lot better than they have all week, but we knew Josh Allen was working. So, you know, he got a bigger plan in line. So he was working. He wasn't threatening the ball down the field or nothing. Everything was dump offs. You noticed that last night, right? So if the Texans OC makes some adjustments, you know, then the Texans can win the game. They're 0-2. They can't afford to go to 0-3. They're hungry, and they have a really great record against Jacksonville. Like, Houston dominates Jacksonville. So they got all those good things going for them, bro. But as I said, I'm just worried about the play calling. If it comes down to Nick Caley calling plays, you're going to be in trouble, because it's no way if you got Nick Chubb who squats 600 pounds, he should be running a stretch play from the shotgun on first down, and it's no way you're from the 2 when you throw it from the shotgun 3 times. That's just stupid. Like, you're not a good coach.
All good points.
Yeah.
All good points.
So my point is probably stay away and watch it live and see what then we can jump in on, because we'll see how they're playing early.
Maybe that'll be one I more look to if I do play it, like try to tease it. It is a teasable at +1.5.
Yeah.
So if I do, either that or the total. But good stuff.
Tasha, hit Tasha right there. I want to tell her something.
4th and 10, Houston defense.
Tasha, good point. But on that one, that's why it's important that people who bet watch film and know what's going on and just don't watch the highlights. If you go look at that play, Tasha, you'll see that D'Amico called, in NFL terms or football terms, what's called a delay stunt. He brought the linebacker late, and the reason you do that is because you're looking for the quarterback to step up in the pocket or try to escape up the middle. He brought Henry Tuatu on the delay, and when he brought him, he was right there. If you go pull that up and look at it, about to sack Baker, he tried to make a big hit instead of just breaking down and engulfing him. He tried to hit him hard and dove with the shoulder. So it actually was a good play call by D'Amico Ryans, because when Baker dropped back, they took away initially they took away Mike Evans, and then on the other side they took away Ngambu, and he was stuck. That's why he ended up running. But the dude was right there to make the tackle and should have made the tackle, and he didn't.
No, I remember that play. Breaking it down.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. That's why I asked you about Houston teams.
I know about Houston now. Come on, man. We got inside info over there. You know that we all up in Kirby.
All right. Well, that's a show for today. We could. I have best bets as the I don't even have. There we go. I put best bets. Okay. We can just do a little bit of a recap.
Okay.
I'm just kicking to you.
Yeah. The main games I like for sure. I grade that first half Rutgers plus a half is a B. You know, I probably put 1 unit on that. But I really believe in Arkansas. I like Arkansas a lot. And any type of props you can find with Taylor Green. He has a really good history in that stadium, man. His first game he ever played with Boise State as a starter was at that stadium in Memphis, and then he played in the Liberty Bowl last year and was the MVP. So, good feelings about the stadium when he comes in. I think he's going to have a really big game. I like Rich Rodriguez in West Virginia. I think Rich Rodriguez is a good coach, and I think that he's going to run the ball on Kansas enough to keep them within that number of 13 as well.
All right, good stuff on that. And for myself, I'm liking the Panthers. I'm liking the Saints. I got a little bit of a hold up with that Texans game.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm looking at right now. So
one good thing you do have going for you on that, I don't know if you saw, and I need to go do some media because I don't watch none of that shit during the week. I don't watch nothing they talk about. They're not gonna confuse me. But I did see that Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen kind of got into it during the game at Cincinnati. You saw that game?
Mm-hmm.
And he said something, and Lawrence kind of waved him off, and so we'll see if that spills into this week, because if they're into it with each other, that's a good thing, because Trevor Lawrence not that good. He needs to be trying to get as much coaching as he possibly can get. So if you do have that angle going as well. But I did forget, guys, the over on SMU and TCU as well.
Good stuff. PZ says, appreciate the show, guys. Scheme Lindsay, remind everybody to smash the like. And Latino Unicorn says, very informative show. Also, I love that Arkansas team this year. And Tasha giving out a couple picks. She likes the Jags.
Yeah. Shout out Tasha.
And she likes the Raiders money line. You like the Raiders?
Yep. All right.
So good stuff from everybody. Good stuff from 5 Star. Good to be back doing the show with you. Now, as you said earlier, we can go partake in some some other stuff.
It's Friday, man. It's Friday activities, like June say, man. It's Friday activities. Hey, you guys go to www.wageringworld.com. Get some merch like you see right here. It's us versus the machine and other items. If you guys are interested in, any type of plays or anything like that, get in the DM, get with me and talk to me. If I vet you and let you in a private group, I do have a couple spots available. And I'm going to be here every Friday with Skee, man. It's going to be running on his channel as well as mine on the Wagering World channel on YouTube as well. I appreciate you all.
And if you're looking for his YouTube channel, I did put it in the link to the show. So you can find the Wagering World link right there. And yeah, we'll be back next week.
He said, am I doing the show today? No, this is the show today. This is the show today, man. This is the show. So it'll be up on the Wagering World page as well.
And Press Box says the private group getting paid.
Yes, sir. We always do, baby.
All right. And he also says great show. So
all right,
appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week. Best of luck on all your action.
Good show, bro.